All right, welcome to the Fantasy Six Pack Hour. Tonight, we're going to be getting into some of the most safe and most risky draft picks you can make this season. We'll be right back.
The Fantasy Six Pack Hour with your hosts, Joe Bond and AJ Appleton.
Touchdown!
All right. Welcome to the Fantasy Six Pack Hour. My name is Joe Bond, founder of FantasySixPack.net. With me tonight, joining me is Corey Pieper. No AJ tonight, but what's going on, man?
I'll have to bring double the excitement here and really bring it home for AJ. But no, I'm doing good. How have you been?
Pretty good. Just
got some new merch behind you. I like it.
Oh yeah, my as it's blurry as hell, of course, already somehow. But yeah, the DC live draft Scott Fishbowl, we auctioned off a signed Clinton Portis jersey, and I was the lucky high bidder for that one, so that's pretty cool.
How'd your team look?
So I did not draft at DC. The first time I did not draft at the DC one because I hosted it with Jeff Lambert from Going for Two, and it's a lot just to even run it. So it was nice this year to not have to worry about that and just go around, help out, make sure the auction ran smoothly. I ran because we're not allowed to do raffles in DC, like the DC lottery wants their money. So so you're not allowed to do raffles.
Oh,
so in lieu of a raffle, I did a Pong challenge. So the place that we went to had a beer pong table. We just played water pong, but it was $5 donated to charity to play me. If you beat me, I donate $10. If you win one of there was a couple of side prizes that you could win. And then there was another one too that we did if you didn't want to have to worry about playing me. So that was kind of cool. I just kind of ran that most of the night, but it was a good time, man. I think we raised over $5,100.
Fantasy stuff's cool. That's the best part right there.
Yeah, absolutely. So let's see here. I don't have any notes pulled up here because this one's just sort of winging it. So what we're going to do here is, I guess before we jump into things, though, I just want to remind everybody to hit that subscribe button, hit that like button, and leave those comments. We appreciate it. And jump on over to FantasySixPack.net, become an all-access member. You're going to get access to the award-winning rankings, the draft cheat sheet, all the DFS and betting stuff during the season. We've got player projections up there right now for the full season. We'll have them up weekly as when the season starts as well. We've got our Discord with it's a free Discord, but there are members only channels where you can get very specific. You get your league specific questions answered from all of us. It's a great deal. It's pretty cheap already, and of course F6P pods to save 15%. And so without further ado, let's jump on over here to the draft. And so what I did here was I put the consensus ADP into a Fantrax draft board. And if you're looking for a place to go play, by the way, and you need some more customization, not a big fan of who. I don't want to damage any names here, offend anybody, but the one site that has all the customization that we all know of, that looks like it was built in 1985 and never updated again. We will, if you're not a big fan of that site, jump on over to Fantrax, man. I'm telling you, this is the place to play if you need all that customization. They've got a ton of it for free, some premium things, but I'm telling you, you're not going to need any of the premium stuff unless you're in like a 10 division, crazy league like that. It's all very like specialized stuff there if you need all that kind of customization, but likely you won't. And it's great. And look, if you play college fantasy football, or if you don't, you should. And this is the only place you can play, by the way. So definitely jump on over there. We played our first first league for fantasy six pack last year over here, and it was a blast. And I'm telling you, if you don't play college fantasy football, the one reason why you should is because you will know all the prospects when they come out. It's the greatest thing ever. So, all right. So what we're going to do here is we're going to go round by round, and just we're not going to go player by player. That'll take 3 hours, but we're going to kind of cherry pick a player each round who we think is the riskiest and the safest. Corey, where do you want to go first?
Well, when I look at the first round, I mean, the reason that these are first round picks, right, is that they should be inherently safe. You don't want to take a whole lot of risk with your first round pick. That's not the idea behind it. So suppose we should announce it for people that are listening. So Jamar Chase, Bijan Robinson, Saquon Barkley, Justin Jefferson, Jahmyr Gibbs, CeeDee Lamb, Puka Nacua, Malik Neighbors, Amon-Ra St. Brown, Ashton Jeanty, Christian McCaffrey, and Nico Collins. So when I look at safety in that, of course, you can just say Jamar Chase, right? There's a reason he goes first, is that he's the safest pick. But I kind of like Jahmyr Gibbs at 5 there. That seems like a pretty safe option. He finished higher than he was the second scoring running back last season. The workload shouldn't change. If anything, he probably takes a little bit more from David Montgomery. I still think they're going to want to run the ball even without Ben Johnson there. I don't see a way where Jahmyr Gibbs falls farther than out of the first round. That seems pretty shocking if it would happen to me. So I'll say Jahmyr Gibbs is the safest pick, not counting Jamar Chase right at the top there.
Yeah, I do. The more I think, and I've got all these guys from Detroit ranked here, Gibbs and St. Brown ranked around this range as well. So I get it. I do have a bad feeling about this offense, just a little bit without Ben Johnson. I mean, we really going to trust Jared Goff without a absolute offensive genius? I mean, think about when he's been good, right? It was with McVay and Ben Johnson. So who knows, right? Who knows what's going to happen? This offense could really take a massive step back. But Gibbs is just electric, so I totally get it. So I'll do the risky pick this round, and I think it just screams off the board here, and it's Christian McCaffrey, right? It's got to be. The fact that he's actually crept back into the first round, it's just oh baby, we really doing this again? We don't learn our lesson. I totally get the upside with Christian McCaffrey. I mean, it's the number one player in fantasy by a lot when he's right. It's just a matter of is he going to stay healthy, and for the most part in his career, he hasn't, unfortunately. It's just been kind of his thing. And I think last year was just an absolute, I think it was a mismanagement by the 49ers to even, I don't know. I don't know what they were doing. They weren't going to make the playoffs. So I'm really kind of surprised that they even tried. So McCaffrey is the risky pick for me. Jancy's probably number 2 on that list behind me. Taking rookies in the first round is always
that's the one I was just about to say. Can we talk about Ashton Jeanty? Because I agree. Sure. The 9, 10, 11 round there. So Amon-Ra St. Brown, I've already talked about him last week on the bus. Go back and listen to that. I think he's risky at that spot to me. McCaffrey is risky because of health, but who was the last rookie that we took in the first round? But Bijan, I guess, right? We took Bijan in the first round. Before that, I don't think we took Saquon Barkley. Maybe Zeke Elliott?
Marvin Harrison was going.
We saw how that worked out, right?
Right? Yeah. It's very rare that a rookie actually returns the first round value. I mean, you're absolutely drafting him at ceiling. And I get it. There's nobody else there in Vegas. The ball should run through him. He can catch passes. He's an amazing player.
And look at Pete Carroll's history with running backs, right? So the quick one that you think of is Marshawn Lynch, but Thomas Rawls, Chris Carson, the first years of Kenneth Walker, all those guys put up, I don't think Rawls was just shy of 1,000 yards. Those other guys put up 1,000-yard seasons. We know Pete Carroll wants to run the ball, and they went out and they got him with the 6th pick overall. So workload isn't a concern to me. It's just a matter of, yes, I thought he looked amazing at Boise State. He looked fantastic, every bit worthy of that 6th overall pick. But NFL's a different setup completely. The defenses are harder. The blocking, how is this blocking going to be for the Raiders? It's not been historically great. So I'll take him in the back of the first round, but there is inherent risk in doing that.
Absolutely. So jumping over here to the second round, I'll do the risky. We'll flip flop. We didn't really discuss this, so I guess it just makes sense to flip flop riskies and safe. So I will do the risky one here, but I'll rifle through the picks. So we got Derrick Henry, Brian Thomas Jr., Brock Bowers, Devon Achane, Drake London, AJ Brown, Jonathan Taylor, Bucky Irving, Josh Jacobs, Trey McBride, Ladd McConkey, and then Lamar Jackson, the first quarterback. So 2 tight ends and a quarterback going off in the second round. My risky player here. Can I say Bowers?
Ooh, okay.
I don't.
Let's hear it. Let's hear it.
I mean, I don't like taking. To me, it's just the fact that it's hard for a tight end to return first, second round value, in my opinion, especially in multiple seasons. I mean, Kelsey almost never did it. He returned tight end 1 value, the tight end 1, but it wasn't always first or second round value, especially the years that we drafted him there. You got burned by it. Bowers is coming off a season where that team had literally nobody. And yes, I know he's getting a quarterback upgrade, but now we're just talking about Jancy taking a massive workload from this team. And look, maybe they're going to play from behind a ton. And Bowers, immense talent. I totally get it. But I mean, come on, we all went crazy over Laporta last year. Even McBride to some degree disappointed. We took him super duper early last year. We're doing it again this year. I get the touchdown regression going the other way for him. And Bowers also to some degree should hopefully catch more touchdowns. I think what he had 5 last year. But I mean, I don't know, 5 for a tight end isn't like terrible. It's just not what you're hoping from a guy who caught as many passes as him. My thing is I just don't know if he's going to catch as many passes this year. With Jancy there, really being able to, they're going to be able to lean on that offense. We'll see what happens. I will not be taking Bowers in the first 2 rounds. I'm just not going to do it. I just don't take tight ends that early. I want one of the early guys, but I'm not going to take one that early. There's too many other players who I think can massively outproduce the tight end in the first couple of rounds. Give me the Laporta a couple rounds later, Hawkinson, those guys. I'll easily take those guys in the 5th, 6th round, like where they're going here.
So I don't get why Brock Bowers is valued so much higher than Trey McBride. Now, we're talking it's only the second round here, so bear that in mind. Like they're both in the second round, but he's going 7 picks different, and he had 1 more reception, like 30 more yards, and like you said, it's just touchdowns. Like he had 5 to Trey McBride's 2, and I think Trey McBride probably regresses upward too. And so yeah. I love the Trey McBride. If I have an early pick and I can get Trey McBride, I've seen him fall. Like I've gotten him at 27, I think 28 a couple times where like early in the 3rd round, to me, that's a smash. I will take it every single time because I'm pretty confident that barring some injury, Trey McBride's going to get 100 receptions again. They didn't, unlike Brock Bowers, who they added Ashton Jeanty, who did Arizona add on the offense? Nothing. Now I expect Marvin Harrison to get more. I expect Marvin Harrison to be better, but I don't think that really hurts. Yeah, they're good players. They're good players, but those guys were there last year, right? And I think that Trey McBride can deliver that again. So I like Trey McBride at the back of the 3rd round, or like early in the 3rd round. Back to the 2nd round is a little early for me, but he's not the safest pick. I mean, there are 2 guys that scream safety in this round. One of them is Derrick Henry, just at the very first pick of the 2nd round. What? Other than being older, right? Which he still hasn't shown anything that's saying that he's getting older. How does he not deliver a top 12 running back? He's going to get all the work. They're going to give him the carries at the goal line. I don't know how he doesn't deliver a top 12 RB season, barring him being injured, because he hasn't shown anything that's going to say that.
Yeah, I think with him, it is just age. And, if he doesn't get the massive workload, or the Ravens aren't dominating games, he doesn't get the amount of work you're hoping for, and he doesn't catch passes. So like if the Ravens don't straight up dominate as many games as they did last season, then that's where the risk comes in with him. But yeah, I'm.
You see him falling? Could you see him? Okay, so we're just looking at these running backs here. I could see Achane passing him. Like, can you see him being worse than Josh Jacobs at the end of this round? Even with all the stuff you said, it's tough, right?
Yeah.
To really
No,
say,
I
like,
mean,
that
again,
would
I'm
really
totally
hit the
fine
ground.
with it.
Yeah,
I think that's where people's
I know.
heads are at.
But it's hard to say that even if everything goes wrong for Derrick Henry, he falls out of the top 2 rounds of value. That's why, like I said, he is the first pick, so of course he seems
Mhm.
like the safest. The other one that seems very safe to me is Drake London. I The ball's going to go his way a lot down in Atlanta. It went there a lot last season. Remember, he started kind of slow, but finished strong. 100 catches, 1,271 yards, 9 touchdowns. They upgraded the quarterback at Michael Penix. They didn't really add a whole lot at wide receiver. They're going to need to throw the ball. It's him and Bijan, and I think we can pretty much bank on Drake London again. Be another one who's going to get 150 targets, probably catches 100 of them, 1,300 yards, 10 touchdowns. That's pretty safe.
Yeah, and his workload went up when they brought in
Mhm.
Penix at the end of the year. So hopefully that continues. I think we talked about that. I forget what show it was. But yeah. So all right, third round. Oh, and for those of you watching, don't pay attention to the teams. This is just straight up ADP. So ignore the fact that team one took Lamar and then Josh Allen back to back. That is obviously not a real team. It's just how ADP falls. So
You'd be killer in a super flex, though.
yes, you would. Chase, Lamar, and Allen? Yeah.
Yeah.
No way. No way would you get that. But all right.
I'll read the third round off here for us. So it starts off with Josh Allen, then Kyron Williams, the back-to-back Cincinnati Bengals, T. Higgins and Chase Brown, JSN, Jackson Smith and Jigba, Jaden Daniels, Garrett Wilson, Tyreek Hill, Brees Hall, James Cook, Terry McLaurin, and George Kittle. So I have Riskiest here. And again, there's one that just screams out, and that would be sorry for you as a Commanders fan, but Terry McLaurin isn't even on the practicing right now and talking about holding out. If he plays, I still think that's too early. Like if I hear tomorrow that they've got a contract resolved and he's showing up to camp, I still would not take him that early because I think his touchdowns will regress. And right now, he is not even practicing. So I will not touch Terry McLaurin probably till, and if there's no contract resolution, 5th, 6th round, I'd probably take a shot at it there, but that's way too high at this point.
Yeah, I mean, he went off the board. I think I counted right. That was wide receiver 16. So it's lower than where he finished last year already. So there is a little bit of regression built in. I do get the risk factor there. There's honestly a ton of guys that we yelled about last show in the bust episode here. We got Cook was one, or maybe just in the bust article. I'm mixing things up at this point. Brees Hall has been one that has been talked about a lot. Garrett Wilson, Tyreek. There's a lot of questionable players here. Kyron Williams was another one. That workload that he got last year does scare me. But yeah, McLaurin is not a person, is not a player I'm targeting right now at his ADP. He's gonna have to fall a good bit, but I do think if he does play the full season, he will finish right around there. So it's not terrible, but there's a lot of just unknown right now. And we see guys year after year where they don't start practicing with the teams when the rest of the team does. And especially if it just drags on, it really affects them early season. And then even worse, we see a lot of injuries early on if that happens too. So that's one big risk factor there. All right. So I've got safe, right?
You've got safety. We just talked about half this round. We think you're bust. So good luck.
I know. I mean, you could say the quarterbacks. I think obviously they're safe, but that's boring. I don't want to say that. That's like a no duh. I'm gonna go. There's not really any just smash the table for it to be a safe pick here, but I kind of like the 3-4-3-5 combo there, the Chase Brown and the Jackson Smith and Jigba. I'll say JSN just because obviously no more DK. And so there should be a very massive target share going his way. I know it's a quarterback change, but is it really worse? It could potentially be better. I don't know. I mean, Gino and Darnold, I don't know how much different they really are. So I really like him. Third year in the league for him. There used to be the thing about 30 receivers being a big breakout. I think he kind of broke out last year. So there you go. I do think there could be more coming for him this year. So I think that's a very safe pick, especially when you consider some of the guys that went after him, like Garrett Wilson, who's totally risky because of the Jets offense and just Fields and the workload. Like the percentage of passes that go his way for that team is going to be phenomenal. But the pure volume, like the number, is going to be low. And that's what people are like, oh, but he's going to see a 32% target share. Who cares if it's only 402 passes? Like, okay. 402 passes from Fields total. Tyreek Hill obviously fell off massively last year. Who knows what we're going to get from him? Maybe Father Time is catching up to him. Who knows? So when you think about you got him in front of those guys, that's like a drop off of like safety, and then there's like a ton of risk after him in this round. I feel like.
Yeah, I kind of lump the Ladd McConkey, T. Higgins, JSN trio into a tier there. And that's the way that's working out by ADP. I could see JSN doing the same basic things that Ladd McConkey's doing half a round earlier there, which is 100 receptions, 1,100 yards, 7-8 touchdowns. I think that's within the realm of possibility. The way that JSN does fall off is if the offensive coordinator changed to not Clint Kubiak, is it Clint? It might be Clint Kubiak. The new Kubiak offensive coordinator for the Seahawks comes in and they run the ball. He came over from the Rams. I think they want to run the ball. I don't think that's been hidden with both Kenneth Walker and Zach Charbonnet. But it's the same thing you were talking about with Garrett Wilson. When they throw the ball, yes, I know they added Cooper Kupp, but I think JSN's going to get a lot of targets in this offense. So I was looking at that same general range for the safety picks as well in the third round there.
And it's Clint Kubiak. You're right. So
boom, look at me go.
There you go. All right, fourth round here. So Devontae Adams starts it off. Jalen Hurts, Rashee Rice, Joe Burrow, Marvin Harrison, Mike Evans, Alvin Kamara, Kenneth Walker, DJ Moore, Joe Mixon, Omarion Hampton, and Chuba Hubbard finishes things out.
This one has so many more safe picks than the one that you just had. I have such an easier choice, I feel like, than what you just had. In your third round, where half of them we thought are busts, I can make a good case for at least 8 of these guys if I want to sit and do it.
For
safety, I think so. I mean, Chuba Hubbard.
Well, I don't know am I first for risk? Is that we've just been doing risky first the whole time?
You can do risk. Go for risk.
Yeah.
Yes, sir.
My riskiest is Kamara. The Saints offense is just abysmal. We think it's going to be. It was terrible last year. I don't imagine how it's going to get better this year. Like, how? Like, what are they doing? I get it. Kamara is just going to see a ton of work. The only thing that saves him is the fact that he is just massively involved in the passing game. But, we're seeing it already with him. He's slowing down. The Saints don't score. That really held him back last year. I don't know. I don't see that changing. So I think there's a huge risk with him. And they bringing in new coaching as well. Like maybe they, and they drafted Devin Neal. Maybe they do finally start finding somebody to spell Alvin Kamara a little bit more. And look, that could possibly be a good thing for him, but I don't know. There's just a lot about Kamara that I'm really freaked out about. If this, I believe this PPR, most of the consensus that I pulled this from was half, though fourth round is probably not anywhere where I'm interested in taking him. In a full PPR, yeah, I'll bump him up a little bit just because of that massive passing game. But there's a lot of risk when you take a running back that you're relying on passing work for. We see it year in, year out, like guys that they have to have the passing work. If it doesn't come, I want a guy at this range of running back where I know they're going to carry the rock. They're just going to get the ball. And then the passing work is a bonus, not something that I need him to get 100 targets in order for it to work for me, because that's hard to do for a running back. So I'm worried about Kamara.
Yeah, I'm fine with Kamara at that value. I don't really worry about it. Like, yeah, everything you said is true. The offense on the Saints is going to be bad. It was bad last year. I don't know if it can get much worse. He finished as RB 15 last year. I think he's never finished outside the top 24. Maybe he gets traded. I wouldn't bank on that at this point. They've been trying for years. That being said, I would take like Kenneth Walker. He was right behind him. I'll take Kenneth Walker ahead of him. I take Chuba Hubbard ahead of him. But I do
I would
think
too.
that he can return this value, but it does require them to be. I mean, he got 16 carries a game last season, right? If he gets the 16 carries again and he gets whatever 85 targets, 80 targets, he is going to get the ball a lot. And that's what you're banking on here is volume. And it's the same reason if he was going in the Kyron Williams range, which is the same thing, then I would be concerning it. But I'm fine with him in the middle of the fourth round. I don't know if I would consider him safe, but I think it's just that's fairly valued.
Yeah.
What about? Can I just throw out a risky player here? We're talking about him already.
I
Are
think I
you
know who
okay
you're
with
going.
Marvin Harrison? Are you okay with Marvin Harrison in the middle of the fourth round there?
I'm probably taking Evans more. It's probably about as far as I would drop him, and Moore and him are kind of iffy. I think this is the right spot for Harrison. I really do. Like
Just
we're
playing the
seeing,
upside.
that and I know it's all pre-training camp, pre-games, right? But we saw that he's starting to bulk up, right? And that was a big thing. He needs to be able to go get more contested balls. And so hopefully that's going to help. I can't imagine it won't. So
they also didn't use him particularly well. I kind of detested the way they used him down the stretch, which was downfield targets after downfield targets. His ADOT was 13.4, but it felt like as the season progressed, it got higher and higher instead of just using him like the way that Devontae Adams is used for the Rams, right? Or for the Jets or whatever at his prime, the way he's been used where he wins underneath, but it's not that he just only wins underneath. He can get deep. With Marvin Harrison, it felt like they thought they had this downfield speed winning like T. Higgins, the way that he's used. And that's just not who Marvin Harrison is. He can win downfield, but they should use him more underneath. And if we see that, I think then he returns that value. But I don't know. I don't love that pick. You already mentioned Mike Evans. Is there a safer player in the history of college football or in fantasy football here? The longest consecutive streak of 1,000-yard receiving seasons to start a career. And if it's close at the end of the season, they force feed him the ball to make sure he gets it. So we're at 11 years, 11 consecutive 1,000-yard seasons. 4 of the last 5 years, he's had double-digit touchdowns. And he has finished as a top 10 wide receiver 6 of the last 7 years, and yet he still falls in this same range because people want to assume that he's getting older, and I don't think anything is really going to change there. Same quarterback. Yes, they have a new offensive coordinator. Liam Cohen's gone, but they have the same coach. I mean, that's not really that different. I don't expect anything will change. So I'll take Mike Evans in the middle of the fourth round. It seems like it's boring that there's not this massive ceiling, but when you've given me, I said 6 of the last 7 years a top 10 fantasy finish, sure, in the middle of the fourth round, why not? Until he proves he can't do it anymore. He's still 6'5". That's what he is, right? Might be slowing down, but he is still 6'5". So I will take Mike Evans in the middle of the fourth round all day as a safe option.
Yeah, I was trying to pull up the numbers here, but the tool I'm using is not loading, unfortunately. But I want to say there was obviously a huge increase from his value from early on in the season to later after Godwin went out. And so
I was just doing some research on that today. Godwin, when he got hurt, was the number 1 wide receiver in PPR. Did you realize that?
Yeah.
I didn't realize I remembered he was awesome. I did not realize he was ahead of Jamar Chase at that point.
Yeah. Do you know where Mike Evans was before he went out? I don't know. I forget what week.
Let's see here. I believe it was week. Let me pull up. So I can tell you what he was scoring on a per week basis. I do not know what he was in exactly, but in the first game, he had 5 catches for 61 yards and 2 touchdowns. So he finished as a wide receiver 6. The next week, 3 catches for 42 yards, finished as the wide receiver 46. Then 2 catches for 17 yards, finished as the wide receiver 85. Then bounced back, 8 catches for 94 and a touchdown, finished as the wide receiver 6, 5 for 62 and 2 touchdowns. And I think Chris Godwin got hurt in week 6, I believe. And that was 2 catches for
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So week 7.
And so week 7, Mike Evans also got hurt, so he had 1 catch for 25 and a touchdown. Then he missed the next 3 as well before coming back. So, I mean, it wasn't awesome, but that's still 4 weeks in the top, or 3 weeks in the top 10, and then a 25th finish on a week where he only caught 1 pass. Yeah, maybe he's not as high of a ceiling with Chris Godwin there, but these two have been together for years, and they both deliver. So, yeah, I'll take him in the middle of the 4th round, and I'll take him ahead of Marvin Harrison.
Evans was on this is half PPR, on a per game basis from week 12 on wide receiver 5. That's nuts.
He's good.
He is good. But you're saying he got injured in week 7 also, so I won't count that week. I'm just curious as to where he was before that. So Evans was wide receiver 20 on a per game basis before.
And that's roughly where we're getting him here, right? So we're talking about drafting him at his floor. I mean, that's probably about 20 wide receivers, and so you're getting him at his floor with, that he has the upside for more.
Absolutely.
Yeah. I'll take him. And the only one I want to shout out is Chuba Hubbard at the end of the 4th round.
Yeah, I love it.
That's a safe pick. Like, Chuba Hubbard, I know they added Rico Dowdle. That doesn't worry me at all. They're going to run the ball. He's going to get the ball just as much as he got last year. And so, I like Omarion Hampton. There's no way I'm taking Omarion Hampton over Chuba Hubbard. I like Joe Mixon. There's no way I'm taking those guys over Chuba Hubbard. I will bank on that volume all day with Chuba
Joe Mixon outside of Kamara is, to me, the riskiest pick in this. Mixon fell off near the end of the season last year. I think really surprised people to start off, but then just fell off. And Chubb is not what he used to be, but they didn't bring him in just to sit there and watch Mixon go off. I think they brought him in to really get him involved in this offense. Round 5. You got this one?
I will take this one. So round 5 starts off with DK Metcalf, then Xavier Worthy. You already mentioned him earlier. Sam Laporta, that's the tight end, and then 3 more receivers: Cortland Sutton, Devonta Smith, Zay Flowers, James Conner, Patrick Mahomes, Jamison Williams, back-to-back Lions here, David Montgomery, Tataroa McMillan, and another rookie after that, Travion Henderson. So we have the 1 quarterback in Patrick Mahomes, the 1 tight end in Sam Laporta, and a bunch of wide receivers and running backs again. If I am choosing the riskiest option, I think it's Zay Flowers. I don't know why we draft Zay Flowers so consecutively high every season and just hope that it's going to get better. Okay, so 74 catches, 1,059 yards, and 4 touchdowns. It's good. It's not terrible. It's fine. But there are so many weeks where he just completely disappoints you.
Yeah, I'm totally with you, man.
Look at some of these weekly finishes, man. Like 6 catches for 37 yards. Are you happy with that? Not really. 3 for 20, 1 catch for 10 yards, 1 catch for 11 yards, 2 catches for 39. He saves you with a touchdown. 1 catch for 12. There's just all these disappointing weeks. And then he'll pop off for 5 for 127 and 2 touchdowns, or 9 for 132. Mark Andrews, Derrick Henry, Lamar Jackson. Like, that is who this offense runs through. And Zay Flowers is a tertiary option who we draft like he's got this massive upside, and I don't think he does.
Let me I don't know if you have it up, but now, of course, I'm looking at half PPR. How many weeks did Zay Flowers score single-digit fantasy points in half PPR?
How many weeks in half PPR? I will say it's here. So we played 17 games.
Yes, he played all 17. 10.
Yeah, that's like, you're disappointed in
That's
all
awful.
those weeks, right? I don't
Give
get
me
why
Jamison Williams over him any day. I'll take Waddle right now over him with the increased workload that we're going to see. I don't. Zay Flowers, I get it. He's the number 1 receiver, but like, who cares?
Yeah, I don't get why and he's been consistent. I feel like this is where we took him last year, and I don't know. I said on the season long, okay, yeah, he had 1,000 yards, but he played every game to get there, and you're just disappointed so much. Like you said, like Jalen Waddle, I'll take Ted McMillan, the rookie at the end. I know he's going to get the ball. I know that he will get the ball. They did not move up in the first round to draft him to say, yep, we are going to throw the ball to Xavier Legette. Nope. Whereas Zay Flowers, there's so many other options in this offense. He might be very talented. I'm not saying that, but he doesn't get the ball enough that you're happy with drafting him in the middle of the 5th round.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm going to go another receiver with safe, and I'm going Devonta Smith. The injury risk has been there with him, but on a per game basis, when he played last year, he was wide receiver 17. He missed 4 games. Now, of course, one of those was week 18 when they didn't play anybody. Philly had a lockdown, so they didn't care. But he missed 3 games with injury. Probably got knocked out of another one, which is why his number was a little low. But he was awesome last year when he played. When he was on the field, he's good. He just got to stay. He's just got to stay in the game. So you're getting wide receiver 17 on a per game basis. I don't even know what running back we're at now at this point, but it's easily in the 20s. So this is a huge bargain in my opinion. And I think we're just place for an awesome offense. I can't fathom the Eagles running the ball 600 times again or whatever crazy number it was last year. Exaggeration, I know. Don't yell at me in the comments. But like they're not going to be able to do that again. That was a crazy good season. It's an outlier of a season when it comes to rushing the ball. Saquon's awesome. He's going to be good again. Jalen Hurts is going to get his thing. But I think the passing game is going to get more involved again, and that's just going to help Devonta Smith stay even more consistent. So I'll take that all day.
Yeah, I like Devonta Smith at that value too. The fact that he's only going 1 spot ahead of Zay Flowers is wild to me. But
yes,
shout out to another ridiculously consistent player who is just boring and doesn't get the love, and that's James Conner. Since he got to Arizona, his worst fantasy finish is 19th among running backs in the 4 years in Arizona. Yet he's delivered 2 RB1 finishes, including last year at RB10, and you can get him middle of the 5th round, which is about, I don't know, RB 20-ish, I would guess at this point. So shout out James Conner, another one. I know they drafted Trey Benson last year, but until James Conner gets hurt, like he's going to get the ball. And I don't have any questions about that. So if you can get him here, if you're going to do like, I know you like fake FB hour 7 here, drafted 4 receivers to start. If you could start off with James Conner in the 5th round as your starting running back and you have those receivers, like you're gold. So yeah, I love James Conner in the 5th round.
I think the honestly the big red flag is he's 30, right? That's the big like So I get it. I think he's immensely safe.
Mm-hmm.
Does not have a ton of upside. I think last year is probably the last year we're going to get him to be quite finishing that high up in overall value. But he's been super good. And I also think he played the most games of his career last year. Did you realize that?
I did not realize that.
Yeah. So he has never played a full season. Not even last year did he play a full season. He did miss a game. But he'd never played a full season before that even. But last year was the only year he played 16 games.
He's a sneaky good pass catcher too. Like
he is
47. You don't think of him as a pass catching option, but nearly 50 catches last season. That's pretty good. And he had 46 a couple of years ago. And the 2023, that was the year that Kyler wasn't there. So the fact that he only caught 27 doesn't worry me at all. So I like the value of James Conner in the middle of the 5th round.
Yeah, I mean, I'll probably snatch it up big times because after that, there's a lot of there's some interesting guys. There's 1 or 2 that I like, but after that, man, it's kind of meh. There's a lot of risk. So round 6, TJ Hawkinson starts it off. Jalen Waddle, Travis Hunter, George Pickens, RJ Harvey, Aaron Jones, Baker Mayfield, Quinshon Junkins, Chris Godwin, Jerry Jeudy, Rome Odunze, and Chris Olave. Risky. I mean, there's quite a
lot.
There's a lot.
There's a lot.
I mean, I could go Travis Hunter, but I get the allure there. I get it. Aaron Jones scares me with the huge workload he got last year. RJ Harvey scares me now that they drafted or signed J.K. Dobbins. I'm just not really sure if he's going to get the workload to warrant that pick at this point. Judkins, obviously, with the we always want to say looming suspension for a guy that gets picked on in June, July, and then it never happens. So maybe that's not a risky pick. Who knows?
Chris Godwin's coming off of major injuries, 2 of them, fractured fibula and an ankle injury was Chris Godwin's injury. So
yeah, there's a lot. This is a pretty bad round, but the obvious most risky pick here is Chris Olave. The
I won't touch Chris Olave. I'm telling you right now, I will never.
I'm not drafting him at all.
Nope.
He would have to fall to like round 12, possibly, for me to even think about it. Like maybe that's a little far.
Chris Olave or Stephon Diggs. That's where I value him, roughly in that range, and that's 3 rounds from now when we're going to talk about that.
Yeah, I get it. Probably he's not going to fall that far. Like I know. There's no way he falls that far, so I just won't have him. But yeah, with the concussion issues he had last year, and I already talked about it with Kamara. Like this offense is going to be just bad unless Tyler Show jumps in and is like awesome and just totally surprises everybody like a Bo Nix style. But I'm not expecting it, so I'm out on Chris Olave. I don't want it. The concussions terrify me. It's why I won't touch Tua, even if like a super flex league. I would not want anything to do with Tua.
Yeah, I won't touch Chris Olave. Will not be on a single team that I draft this year if that's where he goes. Because like you said, bad offense and injury concerns pass. But you're right. This round here, when I have to try to pick a safe option, like you said, I can't even pick Baker. Like I can say I could back out and chicken out and pick Baker, but is Baker Mayfield safe in the 6th round? Probably
TJ
not.
Hockenson?
I don't know. I think it's Jalen Waddle, actually. I think Jalen Waddle, and that's after a disappointing season, is the safest option in this league, right? Or in this round. And it's for what you talked about. We've talked about him a few times. Jonnu Smith's gone. That opens up, I don't have it up, I think close to 100 targets or around 100 targets in this offense.
It was close to that. I don't have it up either. But
while Jalen Waddle disappointed, the yardage dropped off last season, I think he gets a lot of those targets back. And I was just talking about Chris Olave being injured. Like Jalen Waddle was playing through injuries. And if you had Jalen Waddle, you'd get the notification about every 3rd game on your phone that, Jalen Waddle's headed to the tent. Jalen Waddle's headed back. It was constant.
Every 3rd drive.
Yes. He would keep playing it out. So like shout out to him for toughing it out, but you could tell he was hurt. Hopefully in off season, he's healthy. And yes, Tua's injury concerns me, but going into last year, there was talk of, do you want Jalen Waddle or do you want Tyreek Hill? And now I can get Jalen Waddle in the 6th round. So I will take Jalen Waddle there, banking on he's healthier. He's still going to get the workload, and we will see a little bit more of the athleticism, electricity when he gets the ball in his hands, and the yardage spikes again. And so that's probably the safest pick in this round, which I said is saying something considering he's coming off of a disappointing injury-prone season. It's not a very safe round.
It's not. No, this is an interesting one. If Cleveland had a quarterback,
that's the other one that I looked at too. But I can't. Like, I thought about him too, but Joe Flacco. And I said I'd think about Chris Godwin if I knew that his injuries were healed up.
Right.
But until I know that there's a chance that he sits out for the beginning of the season too. So we'll see. We'll move on to round number 7 here and see what we're looking at. Caleb Johnson leads it off, the running back for the Pittsburgh Steelers. Jordan Addison, the Minnesota Vikings. Travis Kelce, DeAndre Swift, Tony Pollard, Calvin Ridley. You mentioned him. Bo Nix, Isaiah Pacheco, Mark Andrews, Brian Robinson, the other B-Rob, Kyler Murray, and Khalil Shakir rounds out round 7.
Funny enough, I love this round. Can we right?
Every so often, man.
Are you looking at this round going like, this
yeah. So I have to pick a risky option here, though. Listen, if you want to hear my thoughts on Mark Andrews, listen to the Bust episode from last week. It's too early for me, but I don't think he's going to completely fall off. I think the riskiest pick has to be Jordan Addison because
Yes.
he's another one with a suspension looming over him. And I think it's likely going to be 3 games. And if he wasn't suspended, he's another one. I fear the touchdown regression on Jordan Addison substantially. He got by, and he was awesome down the second half of the season. Don't get me wrong. I had Jordan Addison on some teams, and every week I'd be like, wow, look at this blow up game. Look at this blow up game. And then you'd look and you're like, oh, but he had 4 catches, but he got a touchdown again, or he caught 2 touchdowns. I think he had one week where he had like 40 points on 8 catches for because he had 3 touchdowns. Relying on touchdowns is tough. And then you get the very last week of the season, he had 1 catch for 0 yards, and that's what you get. So if you're not going to catch touchdowns, you're going to be disappointed, and he's looking at a suspension. So I would say that Jordan Addison is the riskiest selection in the 7th round here.
All right. All right. I like so many of these running backs in this. I like a lot of these players, more so the running backs than anybody. Mm-hmm. It is a complete toss up between Swift and Pacheco for me as safest player. I don't see any way that either one of these guys isn't the workhorse back for their team. I know people for Swift want to lean, want to scream, "Oh, it's Roschon Johnson time." I don't get it. Like, we've seen Johnson. Is he that good? Everybody wants to go, "Oh, but he was only stuck behind, Bijan at Texas." Yeah, but like, okay, but he hasn't done anything. Like, he hasn't shown me that he can do anything in the NFL yet. So I'm not buying it. I like Swift. I think his value is completely buried. He should be way higher than that. Pacheco, look, 2 seasons ago, we were drafting him. Or last season, we were drafting him as a top 12 running back for good reason. He's a good player, and he's on a Chiefs offense that likes to run the ball now because they've got a pretty good defense. They want to take pressure off of Mahomes, and and Pacheco can run the rock, man. And but he unfortunately broke his fibula and came back and was a shell of himself last year. I know they still have Kareem Hunt. I'm not buying the fact that Kareem Hunt is really like the guy that they want to use. I know they brought in the rookie, completely blanking on his name right now.
Brashard Smith.
Yeah, Brashard Smith. But I mean, a 7th round guy who used to be a receiver. I'm thinking like gadget type plays with him. I'm not really buying it. Pacheco's going to get this workload again. As long as he can stay on this field, there's going to be a lot of points coming away from Pacheco. I really, really like Pacheco at this value. And I'd say, man, like, I'm passing on RJ Harvey. I'm passing on Aaron Jones. I'm passing on Junkins. I'm passing on Caleb Johnson. I'm passing on Pollard. I'm taking Pacheco over all of those guys.
I'm RJ Harvey, yes. I would have passed on RJ Harvey, Aaron Jones. I will take Caleb Johnson and DeAndre Swift ahead of Pacheco, but I will pass on Tony Pollard too.
Well, I didn't say Swift. Just remember that.
I know. I like Swift a lot too. I do like Caleb Johnson. I like Caleb Johnson's role.
I like Caleb Johnson too, but man, Jalen Warren is not going away. And
that's the question that I have with Pacheco too. Is so 2 years ago, Pacheco had 44 catches, and I do think he will get the carries, but Kareem Hunt's there, Brashard Smith's there. I don't think we get the same passing work that we got out of Isaiah Pacheco before. That is my one concern. Healthy Rashee Rice, Xavier Worthy's there, Travis Kelce, and they have the other running backs to catch the ball. That's why I said I will take him at that spot. I will push him up a little bit, but I do not think we're going to get the 44 receptions, even though I think he had like 8, 10 last year in, was it 6 games he played, 5 games he played? So that's my only concern with Pacheco, but yeah, I'm not trying to poo-poo your.
Who else was there for? They had
Jerick McKinnon,
P. Ryan,
P. Ryan.
Okay, so Jerick McKinnon, like, that was their pass catching back. That's their Brashard Smith, right? Mm-hmm. Again, and so like, I get it. McKinnon was used as like that gadget out of the backfield guy, and kind of stole some touchdowns from Pacheco even that season. But Pacheco still did it. I'm really just not that worried about it. I think they're going to get the ball. I think the one worry is there's a little more there's like Worthy now that could play into that role as well, even more. So like there's a couple extra receivers now that could get some of that passing, like that dump down stuff. But I think Pacheco is very, very safe here at this spot.
Can I ask you a player that I don't know whether he's safe or risky in this round that I cannot put my finger on, but I want to think of him, and that's Khalil Shakir. Where are we at on Khalil Shakir? Because like I think he will get the ball, right? He had 100 targets last year. He caught 76 of them for 821 yards and 4 touchdowns. First off, really high catch rate. But the way that they use him, I can see him keeping that high catch rate. But is he suddenly going to spike to 150 targets? I don't think so. I don't know what to make of him. So I think he is safe, but I feel like you're also drafting him at his ceiling. Does that make sense? Kind of.
Is it though? Like where I have never looked at exactly where he actually finished in overall points last year, or even a points per game.
I will pull fantasy football.
So Shakir total points was 115th overall. That's half PPR. PPR, that's got to skyrocket. I would imagine 93rd, not huge, but he also did. They didn't play week 18. He missed one game, but I think the thing with Shakir, right, is just that, especially in PPR formats, you just know the targets are going to him. Like you're just banking on just tons and tons of targets. I don't think. I mean, the touchdowns are just not going. He's not going to get more touchdowns. Period. Once they get close, it's Josh Allen, it's James Cook, it's Dalton Kincaid. I guess I don't know. Maybe it's not going to Shakir. Whatever it happens, it's not going to Shakir.
Like if I've taken 2 big upside shots, like a Travis Hunter or something in there, and you want some safety, I'm fine taking Khalil Shakir here, but I just don't see. I don't know. It feels early for me for him too.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. There's some guys going after him that I'm interested in, but I get why people are taking him there. It is a super safe pick.
It is a super safe pick. Okay, well, let's look at some of those guys that are
round
going
8.
after him here in the 8th round.
Yeah, 8th round. Deebo Samuel, Jacoby Myers, Tyrone Tracy, Juwan Jennings, David Njoku, Jalen Warren, Ricky Pearsall, Evan Ingram, Cooper Kupp, Jaden Reed, Najee Harris, and Caleb Williams. Who's your risky player? Right? Is that what we're doing with you?
Nope, you're risky.
Me risky.
You are risky, sir.
I'm risky. Oh, there are quite a few here that I'm not. That I think are not in great shape. Why do I keep getting the bad rounds here? This one's not easy.
I think you can lump 2 of them together because they're on the same team. And that, I mean, we've talked about the San Francisco 49ers receiver situation.
I thought about that. And obviously because Ayuk is potentially coming back to that team, it really does hurt them. But who knows? Maybe Ayuk gets traded or just benched because Shanahan doesn't like him. I'm actually gonna go Deebo here. Constantly injured, coming out of a Shanahan offense that just utilized him all over the field. I who knows what they're going to do with him in Washington. They obviously traded for him. It wasn't a hefty price tag to get him, so I totally understand why you trade for a guy like him who's a huge playmaker. But I'm just not sure that the offense is going to run in the same fashion to get him the ball running like he took advantage of in San Fran. And he's not a number 1 wide receiver type player. And he's not being drafted as that by any means, but I don't know, man. Deebo has really, really just keeps seemingly keeps getting like worse and worse. So I'm just not really all that interested in a Deebo Samuel anymore.
Yeah, I'm not interested in Deebo Samuel at that pick either. Let me just ask you where, I don't know if we've ever talked about him even on here or off here. Where are we at on Cooper Kupp? Do you like Cooper Kupp at that
I'm
value?
not either. He was another one. I was actually looking at Cup and Debo as my
Yeah,
two.
that's the one that I just,
Cup's just kind of like, again, just
new team, injury prone, and I don't trust the targets. I
I
think that
don't.
this is clear. Like, shout out to Cooper Kupp for being one of the best wide receivers for 2-3 years of all time. Like, he was right up there for fantasy purposes. He just crushed it, but he's aging out. He's injured now. He's trading teams, and I think he's behind JSN. So I don't touch Cooper Kupp at that spot either, and that hurts
I
to
agree.
say. Loves Cooper Kupp. I will take the safe player, and not exactly a safe round here. I do not consider Jaden Reed safe, that's for sure, as the Packers distribute the ball to everyone. Najee Harris is safely boring, I guess, to some extent. Like, I think he'll get the ball. I said I'd take him there. I'll get the ball, but there's not a lot of upside. Jalen Warren isn't safe. It's Jacoby Myers, right? Jacoby Myers, 2 years with the Raiders, it has been pretty consistent. 106 targets his first year with the Raiders. Last season, 129 targets in 15 games, 1,027 yards. Only scored, how many touchdowns did he have? He only scored 4 touchdowns, but that still helped him to finish as the wide receiver 21 and a half PPR last season on a per game basis. No, that's on a total basis. On a per game basis, he was 26th. But you're getting him here in the 8th round. You're definitely in the 30 range. And while I don't think there's suddenly massive blow up potential for Jacoby Myers, I also think that if I need a wide receiver 3 at this point, I've leaned into the running backs, or I took an early quarterback, an early tight end. I want to get a safe flex play. I think that you will feel just fine putting Jacoby Myers in your lineup every week, banking 10 to 15-ish points most of the time.
Yeah, I totally agree. I'm actually pretty shocked that Myers is falling this far. If people are loving Bowers to be able to like perform at the level he's going to perform, and Janty, like, you can't hate the Raiders offense that much, right? And so why can't Myers, do what Chris Godwin is going to do, right?
I would take Jacoby Myers ahead of Chris Olave, by the way, guy we talked about 2 rounds ago.
Oh yeah,
easily. I would take that. Godwin, no, but like I would take him probably. We didn't talk about Roma Dunze. That's another one. I don't know if I trust Roma Dunze at all. But I like the value of Jacoby Myers, and this is a round with not a lot of safety in it, and he's very safe.
Yep.
Can you scroll up just a little bit so I can see? Thank you.
No, you must look past my head.
Round 9 here. We're going to do through round 10. So round 9 starts off Stephon Diggs, and then Brock Purdy, Jonnu Smith, Jared Goff, Justin Herbert, Cam Scadaboo, the rookie running back for the Giants, Travis Etienne, Matthew Golden, Zach Charbonnet, Justin Fields, Dakota Prescott, Dak, and Josh Downs. So we're getting a lot of quarterbacks, right? Brock Purdy, Jared Goff, Justin Herbert, Justin Fields, Dak Prescott. You already talked about Jonnu Smith last week. There's no way that you're taking Jonnu Smith in that range, so I don't need to talk about him for risky. Nobody should be taking.
No, but I will say his ADP is starting to fall,
as it should be.
But it hasn't fallen far enough.
Yep. But no, nobody should be taking Jonnu Smith in that range. So we'll talk. I do not want to talk about him, but that does not leave me with a lot of risky options here. I think it's got to be Stephon Diggs again, right? Another one who's looking like he's probably going to start the season on a physically unable to perform list. So you're probably missing him for the first 4 weeks at least.
Mm-hmm.
And while I think Stephon Diggs is a talented wide receiver, he is moving teams. There's been plenty of times where we thought somebody who's switching teams is just going to hit the ground running, and it doesn't happen. Now, he looked pretty good last season with Houston, but it was in a spot where he was suddenly, for the first time in his career, a big chunk of his career, where he was not the primary target, so he was getting the easier coverage. That will not be the case in New England. Everyone is going to be focused on Stephon Diggs when he is healthy and ready to go. And I don't know. I don't want to take somebody who's already injured in the top 10 rounds. if Stephon Diggs was going in the 12th, 13th round and I could put him on my bench right away and not have to worry about it, I'd probably be fine with that. But I will not be taking him at the start of the 9th round. That's pretty high still for a player who's likely to miss at least 4 games. And then you got to hope that he's healthy from that point and not a diminished version of himself. So pass for me.
Yeah, I think the one thing with Diggs is that when you look at everybody else going after him on a per game basis, who actually outperforms him?
Yeah,
That's the problem. And so I think that's why he goes there. He's a stash play. It's just so hard unless you've got an IR spot. It's so hard to stash players in fantasy football from the get-go like that.
Ask a Christian McCaffrey owner, even though you didn't think you were having to stash him, even if you didn't think you were having to stash him.
Yeah. So, oh man, safe. Can I call out? Can I actually do a quarterback? Are you gonna let me?
Yeah, go for it.
Because it's gonna be Justin Fields.
Is the safe one?
That
would
range,
not have been the one I considered safe, but yeah. Oh, at this range, yeah, sure.
It's either that or Dak.
Yep, that's the one I would have thought.
It's those two, like Dak, and I talked about Dak as my sleeper quarterback because I got my real one stolen. But
it was Justin Fields, right?
No, it was was it Fields?
I don't remember. One of us talked about Fields. I thought maybe I don't know.
Whoever AJ had, I think AJ talked about Stroud, didn't he?
Oh yeah, Stroud. You're right. Yeah. I talked about Justin Fields.
Yes.
So I like.
But I like both of them as safe picks. Like Dak Prescott 2 years ago was amazing. QB3, I believe, on the year. Now adding a weapon like George Pickens to this offense, the only worry is like, can that hopefully the hamstring stays on. But and that I can't imagine that offense being as bad as it was last year. This is no way. Justin Fields, just to piggyback on this, at this point in the draft, like, is unreal. Like, when he plays, he's a bad NFL quarterback. Don't not get me wrong. I really do not like Justin Fields as an NFL quarterback. But the rushing upside you get from him is crazy.
Yeah, it is. I mean, you're not wrong. That's why I like Justin Fields too. Is even if you just got to close your eyes, you just got to close your eyes sometimes and just say at the end of the day he's going to end up as a top 12 quarterback. And
I've got him as QB9. Why is he going after? Why is he going this far? It's name. I get it, but the rushing floor he gives you is just crazy. And all I care about is fantasy points from this guy. I don't care how pretty it is. Just can lose 14 games as long as he's in the game for all of them. I'm good.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, I agree. I do like Justin Herbert is the one that just doesn't make any sense there. Like Brock Purdy, Justin Fields, Dak,
even Goff to some degree.
I put Goff as a bust, but like I'd take him at this round. I just don't want Justin Herbert there. And it's not that I don't like Justin Herbert. I just don't think they want to pass the ball that much. And I
think Goff is going to take a step back too, honestly.
Yeah, and I said he was my bust when we talked about this. So
yeah, I agree. So
last round, sir.
Yep, finish it off. We got Javonte Williams, Ramondre Stevenson, Brandon Ayuk, Darnell Mooney, Michael Pittman, Tucker Kraft, Tyler Warren, Jordan Mason, and Emeka Egbuka. Jeez, I hate that name. I need to practice that one. Drake May, CJ Stroud, and Jordan Love. So I've got the risky pick. We already talked about Brandon Ayuk. I'm not going to do that. I mean, at this range, I get Michael Pittman. I don't love it, but I mean, you can imagine where we were drafting him last year. An incredible fall, but I totally get it. Risky though, man. Outside of Ayuk, because of the injury, it's got to be Stevenson, right? I don't know. It's him and Javonte. Javante's kind of meh. I don't want anything to do with that Dallas backfield. I don't know who it's going to be, and I don't think any of them are going to be any good, honestly. But Stevenson going to have to be competing with Trevion Henderson, who was the consensus number 3 running back on a lot of people's boards, and then fell to running back 4, right? Because Judkins got taken ahead of him. Stevenson 2 years ago, 3 years ago was good, mostly because he caught a lot of passes, but really fell off last year. And when you see a down year like that, and then they bring in a top 2 round running back, that's just red flags all around for me. I don't want anything to do with Stevenson. I don't think this is going to be a huge timeshare, maybe in the beginning, but it's going to quickly go Henderson's way, I think.
Yeah, those 2 running backs at the beginning of the 10th round stand out. I would take Jordan Mason ahead of both those 2. Some of the guys that we're not going to talk about in the 11th round, I would take probably all the backs in the 11th round ahead of those guys. Tajay Spears, Rashad White, Tank Bigsby, Bashal Tootin, and J.K. Dobbins. Like, I think there's maybe not one of them, but there's at least clear role. I don't know the roles for New England and Dallas. That's the difference. Like, Rashad White's behind Bucky Irving, but at least I know that, and he will deliver when I need him. Tajay Spears, I don't know. Like, Tony Pollard, does it change from last year? Probably not. Do I trust a lot of it? No, but Javonte Williams, if it came out week 1 and Javonte Williams gets 5 carries, and instead, who's the other guy? This Miles Sanders gets 10 carries and Jaden Blue gets 8 carries, would you be surprised?
No.
Exactly.
I think the thing with Javonte, right, that makes people want, and kind of me as well, a little bit over like a Tajay Spears, is they keep saying it's, and because I did the usage report last year, and it's not a split in Tennessee. It's Pollard. It leans Pollard big time. With Bigsby and Tootin and that backfield with ETN, it's kind of the same as Dallas. Like, you've just got to take a chance, especially in these rounds, that you hit on the one, right? That's why people are taking them. It is risky, but that's why people are taking them. But when you take a Spears, you absolutely know he's not the one, unless there's an injury, right? Yeah. And then, but with Javonte and Blue and you said his name earlier, Miles Sanders, we don't know. Yeah, no. It could be Javonte, and if you hit that in the 10th round, that's pretty good value. That's a winning fantasy pick. So I get the reasoning behind it. I think there's other upside players, because I'm just not really sure Javonte Williams is good anymore after all the injuries he's had. That's my worry with him.
Yeah, I feel that. So Javonte and Stevenson, I can't consider safe. We've talked plenty about Brandon Ayuk. I do not consider him safe. Darnell Mooney is probably safe, but I don't know if I want to talk about. I love Michael Pittman. If they had anybody that I trusted to throw him the ball, I would absolutely be all over that value of Michael Pittman if I could trust that either Daniel Jones or Anthony Richardson would get him the ball. Then the tight ends, no. Jordan Mason is the same thing like you just talked about. You know that he's the backup to Aaron Jones, but I'm fine taking him there because I do think we talked about the workload already a little bit, and rookies aren't safe. So it's a quarterback again. And this trio of quarterbacks here, Drake May, CJ Stroud, and Jordan Love, I don't see them as being that much different than the guys that are going around earlier than them. Like, I think they could all outscore Brock Purdy or even Caleb Williams, who's going at the end of the 8th round, and it wouldn't really surprise me. Drake May showed rushing upside last season. We talked about CJ Stroud last week or a couple weeks ago on the Sleepers podcast, and you and AJ really liked him. I'm kind of lukewarm on him, not quite as high as you guys, I don't think, but I'm perfectly fine with him here. And Jordan Love was a top 10 quarterback 2 seasons ago in the second half, and last season hurt his knee in the very first week and barely ran at all season. That was a big part of it, was the knee injury. And then as he got back, he hurt his hamstring and missed another game. So I think if we just get Jordan Love healthy, and part of it was that his volume just fell off. They stopped throwing the ball and they just started leaning on Josh Jacobs and leaning on Josh Jacobs and leaning on Josh Jacobs. And if Jordan Love's healthy, I think they want to get it back to more of a split. So I like all three of those guys. Now, I don't know if I would say they're safe, but if you told me that I could truly pair like a Kyler Murray at the back of the 7th round with a Jordan Love in the 10th round, I'm not a huge 2 quarterback guy, but I do really like the value of those 3 in the back of the 10th round. So
yeah, I'm going to be honest with you. If I don't get, I'm kind of looking at tight end and quarterback kind of the same. If I don't get one of the, like if a Bowers or McBride were to fall to me in like round 3, I'm taking it, right? I'm not taking anybody else until, like I'm going to have to find a tight end who kind of slips. And then after that, I'm just going to take my chances. But quarterbacks even more so. If I don't land on a Lamar or an Allen or a Daniels or a Hurts, maybe Burrow. Burrow just, he doesn't have the rushing. So like he has to get those like massive touchdown numbers, which he can. He's got the weapons to do it for sure. If I don't get one of them, I am absolutely targeting this Justin Fields, Dak Prescott, Drake May type range of quarterbacks. I'm just going to wait. Who cares? Are they really going to be that much worse than a Bo Nix or a Baker? I don't think so. And you're spending 4 or 5 picks, 4 or 5 rounds earlier just to get a quarterback who on a per game basis is really not going to be that much different. So I'm not doing it.
Yeah, I'm kind of, I've talked about my tight end theory on here before, but the quarterback theory is pretty much the same. I will take Lamar, Josh Allen, or Jaden Daniels after the middle of the 3rd round. Before the middle of the 3rd round's too early. From the middle of the 3rd round, I will take them if one of those on the board. I want Jalen Hurts or Joe Burrow late in the 4th round. And actually, I value Joe Burrow a little bit ahead of Jalen Hurts, but that's fine. I think they're very similar. Mm-hmm. And then I did get Patrick Mahomes in one draft. I did a draft like a couple weeks ago, but I got him in the 8th round. Like I'm not taking him in the 5th round. If he falls to the 8th round, I'll take Patrick Mahomes.
Yeah,
like that type of a value. But I'm not reaching to get Patrick Mahomes in the 5th round. Like you said, that's the dead zone, right? It's the same thing. It's the same. Yeah. We just find your value, and if it's slipping and it's slipping, jump on it. But otherwise, wait.
I mean, come on, think about it. Last year, everybody, like, who thought Bo Nix was going to be this good? Who thought Baker Mayfield was going to be this good? Right? Nobody. So, like, these guys, these quarterbacks.
Didn't Sam Darnold finish as a top 10 option last season? Am I mistaken on that? I feel like it was close,
if not. So like there will be quarterbacks, there will be tight ends that that pop up. Like it's gonna happen. So
QB9, Sam Darnold.
Yeah, you're gonna find me taking a tight end earlier more often than a quarterback earlier.
Oh yeah, 100%. Because I will absolutely dive into Trey McBride. If I can get Trey McBride in the 3rd round, to me, that's all day. I'll take that.
Yeah.
And I'll take George Kittle. Back of the 3rd round, here's where he's at. I mean, I prefer him in the 4th round, but it depends the way I started. I suppose if I had a back end of the 3rd round, I don't love Hawkinson, but I'll take Laporta at that ADP that you have right there, the beginning of the 5th round. I'm fine with that. I said I don't know if he finishes as tight end 5, but I don't see a way where, barring an injury, he finishes outside the top 10 tight ends. I don't know how it happens. So if I can bank a top 10 tight end who I just set it and forget it, I will do that. But after that, barring, again, a drop, Hawkinson, no. Njoku, no. It's the quarterback concerns. Mark Andrews, the tight ends. Travis Kelce is interesting. Like, did you know he was still 3rd in receptions among tight ends last season behind Bowers and McBride? It was just that it's so much shorter. The passes, like the yards per reception, fell off so much. So
yeah,
I might be okay with Travis Kelce there.
It's kind of a conundrum with Kelce for me. Like, and I mentioned this on one of the other shows. I forget which one now, but it's there was nobody else on that offense for Mahomes to pass to, and the running game wasn't that great. I mean, Hunt was fine. He did okay, but nobody's scared the defense. So they all just honed in on Kelsey, right? Stop Kelsey. You're going to stop the offense, right? Now he's getting Rice back. At least we think so, right? He's getting Worthy back. Hollywood Brown, everybody forget about him. Like, he's going to be back. Like, this offense is going to be different. And so does it open up the offense more for Kelsey? And we see the Kelsey of old where he's just kind of running free down the middle sometimes. And it's like, how the hell do you leave Travis Kelsey that wide open? Or is it he's going to see less work, and so we don't get the production that we want? That's tough for me. But yeah, I'm gonna say this, and then we'll close it out. I'm not gonna look forward to drafting against you in the Fantasy Six Pack OG League because sounds like we've got very similar styles here. So do have a couple news items here. I'll let you roll with those, and then we'll close it out.
We can skip Quinshon Judkins. We already talked about it. So he did get a misdemeanor domestic violence. We don't know enough yet. I'm not really changing until we know more on Quinshon Judkins. We did talk about Jordan Addison's suspension. We can skip that one. Jawan Jennings. So you talked about, like, you think Brandon Ayuk is going to get traded at some point here, but now Jawan Jennings, who's scheduled to make it, is saying that he's holding out too if they don't extend him. I don't know. Like, we talk about the Niners, every wide receivers every week, it feels like, and I still have no more clarity now than we had 3 weeks ago, even though we've talked about Ayuk and Jennings different weeks and Pearsall came up. If one of them falls, I know we don't think we talked about any of them at this, I would probably take them, but I'm not actively hunting for any San Francisco 49ers wide receiver. Mike Williams, shockingly, is already on the physically unable to perform list. It does not, at this point of the year, it doesn't actually mean anything. Like, you can still play right away, so that doesn't really mean a lot. And Najee Harris with his eye thing ended up on the non-football injury list. Again, it's still so early. If it gets to the training camp and something's happening, then we'll go for there. And then breaking news, and as a Commanders fan, I feel like this has been important to you. Less than 20 minutes ago, Von Miller signing with the Commanders.
Ooh.
Look at his eyes. You should have all seen it.
I like that one.
He's so happy.
Yeah. I did not know that.
I think you'd be happy with that one. Yeah, they could use some pass rush there. So
hell yeah,
talk a lot of defense, but when it's one of our teams, then we get to talk about it because it's our show. So go Commanders. Pass rushers.
How much was the contract?
I have not seen that. I just saw that he is signed with the Commanders. Doesn't say yet.
Yeah, it's too early, I guess. It'll come out soon. But that's pretty amazing. I know he's much older. He's not in his prime anymore, but man, he can wreak havoc back there.
They could use the pass rush.
Absolutely.
They can absolutely use the pass rush. So
good. I like it. All right. Next week. What are we doing next week?
Next week, I believe, is ADP values. So good and bad. So we'll look at, well, we were talking about ADP. We'll see what the ADP that we can find is. And then we will.
We talked about risky and a little bit of ADP values and stuff here, but we'll really dig into some of the kind of the rankings versus the ADP at that one more so than we did here. So, all right, that is what we got for this one, and we will see you next week. See ya.
Peace.